Hello, dear friend. In this video, we'll talk about the upcoming new moon in Libra, which is about to be a very intense one. It's coming up on the 6th of October around 7 a.m. Eastern Time. And in this video, we'll discuss what is the energy of this new moon. It's very interesting that Mars is in exact conjunction with the new moon in Libra. We also have Mercury retrograde again in the same sign of Libra. On top of that, Pluto is stationary at the very same time and about to turn direct. And this will add even more intensity. And also we'll discuss the importance of the ruler of the new moon, which is Venus, and her position and what we can get out of this whole combination. So hold on tight. This one will be a pretty intense new moon, but also a potentially very transformative one. Not easy on our emotions. It's also very retrospective time, but we do need to get through this healing process, which eventually will allow us to start fresh and move on after all of those retrogradness are over, of course. And before we dive deeper, I also want to invite you to our new membership, which is a great opportunity for you to learn astrology and connect with us. And we also have an amazing free trial opportunity. So if you are interested, I will share more at the end of the video. And of course, you can also check the links below or go to marsstars.net and start your 7-day free trial now. So let's get into this new moon in Libra. As I said, on the 6th of October, around 7 a.m. Eastern Time. The exact position of the new moon is 14 degrees in Libra. That's where the sun and the moon are joining together. I want to remind you that a new moon is also the beginning of the next lunar cycle, and it's especially important for the upcoming 1 month. So this is not just something that will trigger us on this particular day, but this is kind of a energy that is unraveling certain atmosphere for us for the next 1 month. And first of all, we need to discuss the sign of Libra. It's really triggered not only by the new moon, but also by Mercury, which is retrograde there as well. And the sign of Libra is, of course, about love, relationships, beauty, harmony, and also justice. And those would be some of the most important themes for us to, first of all, reassess our personal life, our own desires, our type of relationship and communication with other people, especially the closest ones. And also, it's time to think about how you treat yourself, and especially when it comes to kindness and gratitude. Libra is a very gentle, very kind, and really polite sign. And it's also a great time to reconsider this. How are we treating ourselves? And are we also fair with ourselves? Because, of course, there are different polarities. Sometimes we can be over judgmental with other people and we may not notice our own flaws. But there's also the opposite combination in which we are very kind and understanding with other people, but we seem to be too harsh or judgmental with ourselves. So you need to find where are you on this scale and perhaps be honest and make a decision. Is there something you want to change about this? Have you been too hard on yourself? And have you been fair with yourself and with other people as well? Those will be such important themes for the next 1 month. Of course, relationships may go through big transformations and changes, and it is possible that old relationships could be restarted because of Mercury retrograde, and we may go back to those phases or experiences or memories, and we may do the needed healing work, or we may decide that there is something unfinished there, so we need to kind of like have closure there. Or sometimes we may realize that we have mistreated another person, so we want to apologize. So obviously the opportunities are countless, but the focus really is on communication. Plus, we do have 6 planets in the air signs, 4 in Libra and 2 in Aquarius. So obviously, communication and interaction are such important themes right now. And with Mercury retrograde, a great opportunity for us to fix something in our relationships or the scenarios in our personal lives, especially if you recognize that every now and then you find yourself in the very same situation, especially when it comes to your love life. Then perhaps you need to reconsider something. Perhaps there's something you are not seeing or not realizing. With Mercury retrograde and also a new moon in Libra, you may decide and also be able to really get to the root of the situation and make a change and move on in a new way. But before we are able to move on, first we really need to do the inner work and dig deeper. And speaking of digging deeper, we do need to talk about Pluto. Pluto is stationary at the time of the new moon and about to turn direct. So all of this can bring even more tension, even more energy, which is extremely focused. And yes, it may feel overwhelming, that is true, but Pluto can also bring us incredible opportunities to go very deep and see the truth. It's almost like, imagine Pluto, even in mythology, Pluto is the ruler of the underworld. It's where all the secrets and unseen things and subconscious things are. And when Pluto is stationary, this is the time when we may dig deeper and we may have the opportunity to see and transform something. Don't get this wrong. It's not very easy. It's not a walk in the park, but it can be extremely rewarding. And again, it can help you to transform your relationships, because it's interesting that Pluto is also having a karmic aspect with the new moon. This is something which is kind of a rule. When Pluto changes direction from retrograde to direct or the other way around, there is always a centagon between Pluto and the Sun. This is a general principle. If you find that in your chart or anyone's chart, there is a centagon, which is a 100-degree aspect, and you have it between the Sun and Pluto, it means that this Pluto is also stationary. And imagine how special and rare it is to have this Pluto stationary, changing direction, and at the same time, the moon is also joining the Sun, and there you have also a new moon. Very, very rare combination, very intense one, as we said, and incredibly transformative. So Mercury retrograde and Pluto stationary, all of this suggests that we have to look at things from a different perspective. Also, retrospection, reassessment, adjusting something, fixing, those are the general themes. And it's also interesting that Mars is in exact conjunction with the Sun, which also means with the moon on this new moon. And this is the time when Mars is also burned by the sun. Whenever a planet is burned by the sun, the energies are blending. And it's almost like the sun's energy gets colored by the energy of the burned planet. So in this case, we do have some Mars energy and all of that affecting and triggering the sun. So we may feel the desire to take some action. On the other side, Mars is not strong in Libra. Mars is in a detriment position in Libra. So we don't need to rush through things. It's not the time to take the action immediately or the initiative or whatever. We need to give ourselves some time. We need to process things. But at the same time, you do need to connect to this, I would say, gentle warrior energy. Because this is not Mars in Aries. This is not Mars in Leo, Sagittarius, or Scorpio, which would be a powerful position. This is Mars in Libra. And this Mars is a diplomat. But Mars is always Mars at the same time. So we need to, again, embrace the gentle warrior energy. Not the one which, runs around with the knife and always ready to attack or whatever. This Mars in Libra is a gentleman. And even though he cares about justice and protecting others and doing the right thing and considering the consequences for other people, this Mars also is a warrior. It's just that he uses different types of approaches. He doesn't run around with the knife. He uses the gentleness, the politeness, and again, his inner sense about justice. And those are such important themes with this new moon. So embrace the gentleman warrior in yourself. This is also really, really important. Another thing I want to mention is related to the ruler of this new moon. So, as we said, we have not just the sun and the moon, but also Mars and Mercury retrograde in Libra. And this sign is ruled by Venus. At this moment of the new moon, Venus will be in Scorpio, which from one side means that the emotions can be even more intense, even deeper, but also more dramatic, potentially more unbalanced. And at the same time, something even more interesting is that Venus is approaching the South Node. Venus is at the end of Scorpio, and the South Node is in the first few degrees of the sign of Sagittarius. So technically, Venus is in conjunction with the South Node, which again shows us that we need to work with the past. We need to process emotions related to some kind of events or perhaps previous relationships, something personal, something perhaps which have hurt you in a way, because Venus is in Scorpio. So if you have watched most of my or some of my videos, probably you have found that I really avoid negativity or talking about difficulties, and I'm always about the positive, uplifting perspective. But at the same time, I'm always about the truth. And the truth needs to be presented in an inspiring way, but without sugarcoating. So we shouldn't be afraid to talk about pain. This new moon can literally trigger those topics. And it doesn't mean that it will bring a new painful situation in your life. Maybe for some people this may happen as well, but for the most part, I think that it's showing us that we need to address trauma or pain that comes from the past. Why is that? Again, we have Mercury retrograde together with the new moon. And the retrogradeness is always about the past and the internal. We do have Pluto stationary. Pluto is about transformation and, again, getting to the truth. And Venus, the ruler of the new moon, is in conjunction with the South Node and also in Scorpio. All of this means focusing on the past, healing pain and trauma, but first you have to allow yourself to connect to those emotions. Of course, if we are trying to pretend it never happened, if we are kind of like avoiding, suppressing, that's not gonna work. So we have to be brave, and here Mars may help, by the way. Mars together with the new moon can bring certain level of braveness, and we need to look at things the way they really are. So the truth, as they say, will set you free. And I really believe that we have to do the inner work, because this new moon, as intense and challenging as it may be, it can also be as rewarding and beneficial, of course, depending on how we use it. A few more words about other energies and aspects. Okay, let's talk about this one. So Chiron. I'm not a huge fan of Chiron, and for the most part I have kind of like neglected it, but in the recent times I started to pay attention to it. So I will share with you this, that the new moon is in opposition with Chiron. Chiron, even though it's on a asteroid, so it's not on the same level as the other planets, but it seems to have some influence on our lives, on our experiences in mythology. It's an important symbol. So Chiron is also about pain and healing at the same time. And that works basically in the same way as the other things that we just mentioned, with Pluto being stationary, with Venus, the ruler, in Scorpio with South Node. So Chiron brings even more the topic about working with the pain, addressing it, and also healing it. The other planets which are also important, Saturn. Saturn seems to have a pretty balancing and hopefully calming energy in this situation, of course. So Saturn is trining the whole new moon. And I think that this can be especially beneficial because it can bring some kind of stability. With all of those retrogradeness, Pluto stationary, Venus in Scorpio, emotions can be very messy and all over the place and really unbalanced. So Saturn can help us to be reasonable, to be wise, to be careful, to be fair. Again, we should remember that Saturn is exalted in Libra. So Saturn connects and communicates very well with this Libra energy. And Saturn also cares about justice and fairness and stability. So I believe that this may help a very balancing influence for this new moon. And finally, Uranus. Uranus is having a quincunx with the new moon. So there is the opportunity for some kind of liberation, some kind of freedom, some kind of new experience. And we need to be open to the change and transformation. And we need to think like, okay, what can I do next? Or how can things change for me? If you want change, this aspect can really bring you the needed inspiration. So open for this. Also keep in mind that there might be something unpredictable about the overall situation. After all, with Uranus, you never know. And also the quincunx is an aspect that is kind of like changeable in a way. But I think that it can bring some kind of light and kind of like to bring some desires that we can address. So again, a very, very special new moon with incredible opportunities for transformation, but also we need to bring our awareness. We should not kind of like allow things to happen and just feel like we are the victims. We should take things and basically the responsibility for our own experiences in our own hands. So very transformational and special new moon. And I would love to hear how this new moon will trigger your chart. Do you have something in the cardinal signs between the 10th and the 20th degree approximately, especially if that's Libra, but even the other cardinal signs like Capricorn, Cancer, and Aries will also feel this pretty hard. I'm, for example, a Capricorn sun, and this new moon will square my sun. So I would expect some pretty significant changes and realizations and probably opportunities. On top of that, with Pluto being stationary in my sign, that's also another indication that for many Capricorns, this new moon will be pretty significant. So let me know in the comments, and of course share any questions that you may have about this new moon. And please don't forget about our incredible opportunity to join Mars Stars membership with a 7-day free trial. What you get with this membership is one live webinar with me each month on a specific astrology topic. For example, during October, we are planning a webinar on Lilith, the Black Moon. We are also having one Q&A session each month, so you can come and ask your astrology questions about your own chart or generally about astrology, whatever you need. Plus, you also get access to all of my courses, which are recorded, including the fundamental course on natal astrology, which individual price is $2,000. So you are getting this with your membership, plus karmic astrology, moonology, we have energy balancing, and most importantly, also, you will have access to upcoming courses, which I am about to make for you. There's also a community called Astro Circle where you can also connect and share and ask questions. There are monthly horoscopes, and my idea is to really expand and grow this. So you can join us now and you will get more and more benefits with this in the future. I promise you that. It's extremely affordable. We have monthly options, we have yearly plans, and again, you can try it without any risk. Of course, you can also cancel at any time you want. So check the link below or go to marsstars.net. You will see there the Mars Stars membership option. If you have any questions, again, let me know in the comments. And happy new moon to everyone.